Welcome, everybody. Welcome to DADAcation. We are a nonprofit organization where we uplift dads, give dedication to active fathers, and give voices to alienated fathers or alienated parents. My mission is to reach as many fathers as I can and give resources to help those and normalize fatherhood. Here today we have a great friend of mine, also a part of the organization, Jonathan. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Let's get straight to it.
All right, cool.
As you guys know, my story, I'll be giving that on a different segment. This is episode 0, so this is the intro to DADAcation.
Yeah.
But we had a little conversation earlier, especially when I did my live yesterday, and it was an amazing, not even just a story behind DADAcation, but a conversation.
Everyone who came on, just like, everyone's story, hearing other people's backgrounds and their dedication, no pun intended, but their dedication to fatherhood and just the importance of fatherhood. And they got into the legal side of things and how there needs to be reform and just with the access fathers should have with their children, like legally. But yeah, it was
Absolutely.
It was dope.
Thank you for that. Also too, I want to touch base on, so after the live, you were here with me. You actually helped me set up. You've been a big part of this as well. You said that, while after the whole live, or even the day after, that you felt it hit you in a different type of way. Can you explain to, everybody how it hit you, and the story behind you, and your father?
Yeah. So, with DADAcation, like obviously this whole thing started off with your story and everything that you was going through. And for whatever reason, I felt so compelled to really be kind of like just really a part of this. And I never shared the deeper reason as to why, because I don't know, just it, as you know, when you went on live, it was tough to really put yourself out there, and I never really did that. So I think with me, I had my father in my life. I was grateful to have my father in my life for 18 years, and he unfortunately passed away. He was sick, and then he passed away. And at the time, it hit me heavy. And at the time, it hit me heavy. Like, it changed a lot about me, because at the time, it was like, there was 2 turning points in my life in that moment where, losing someone, whether it's by death or whether it's by, just relationship or whatever, like, it really can impact you. And at the time, it was my father who went first, and at the time I was in a relationship, and that happened. That relationship ended, and it was like these 2 big losses in my life really impacted me. And then afterwards, after that relationship ended, I realized that, like, I wish I had my dad. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm going through some shit right now that, like, can I swear? Can I cuss?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's late. It's gonna get emotional, so
yeah. But anyways, I went through some shit, which is like, I wish I had my dad to talk to. And it's, and because I didn't have my dad, I turned to close friends of mine. And I'm grateful for those friends, because they listen to me ramble, they listen to me vent, they listen to me, like, just try to navigate being a young adult, figuring out life, figuring out friendship, figuring out relationships, and figuring out so many things that you can learn from your parents. And I'm at a point in my life where, I'm almost 30, and I'm at a point in my life where, as I look back at this last decade of my life, I just really wish I had my dad right now, because sorry, give me a second. Okay, I'm good. Because there's so many things currently that I'm just dealing with mentally, and emotionally, where I still have my mom, which I'm grateful for, but there's just certain things that, as a woman, she can't help me out with, and I have my brother in my life, I have my sister in my life, and I don't know, it's just different, because with my brother, like, I want my brother to be my brother, and he's an amazing brother, incredible brother, but I think through the years I've just been, seeking another father figure, and so that's why this means a lot to me, because I think it's important for everyone to have both parents in their lives, and that's why I think this is huge, and I think everyone should understand that fathers are important, and it affects people in ways that you just don't know. And there's countless studies of what the lack of having a father in a child's life has. Countless studies. And it's just insane to me that it's so pushed on to, it's so common to not have, it's common for to just not have fathers in the child's life. Like, it's just too common. And growing up, I always thought it was like a lot of men were just deadbeats. A lot of men just, they didn't care about their kids. A lot of men were just like, they were just out here doing their thing. It's just like, oh man, the baby popped out, and so yeah, that's what it was. So I even think I was gonna get
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, so it's crazy that you say that. At that part where fathers are important as always. But it's always being pushed. And that's how a part of how DADAcation started as well. Before having a kid, whenever I seen mom without a dad, I mean a child without a dad, and just with their moms, I'll always be like, forgive me, but I always be like, wow, like, what a deadbeat, like, where's the dad at?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it just always used to impact, like, hurt me, like, yo, why is the dad not in their life? Because thank God I had both of my parents in my life as well. Mm-hmm. And they, through their separation, the thing that, shout out to my mom and dad, the thing about that I love about them the most is that they continued to stay best friends till today. They're best friends. They call each other, even though he has a new relationship. They call each other. They make sure everybody they're good, but they always put us first. And I think that's what I've learned from as well. Grew up with my father, and back to the me just seeing the child with the mom. DADAcation came about because when I had my child, it happened to me, and everything just started full flowing. And I remember the time in the beginning, having your child, being with the child for 2 months, and then have the child taken away from you, it hurt me. But I'm hearing people that did more time than me, like, which is unfair. I got a month and 3 days. Other people talking about 3 years, 4 years, and I'm just like, wow. But back to the story, I almost gave up, but then I felt a calling, and one thing I learned I went to a conference last week, and one thing I learned, God gives toughest challenges to people he loves, the children he loves. You know what I'm saying? So I felt that I was called to do this, and I'm a fighter, and you know me, I won't give up, and I will continue to advocate for fathers, even though if I'm put on the spotlight. Like, even right now, I feel like a target. I drive around with DADAcation stickers all over my cars. And I know people are looking. And I know people that are probably involved on the opposite side are probably looking and trying to tear me down, which they already started. But I would not give up, and I'll continue advocating for fathers, because things like that. When I spoke on my live yesterday, one thing I brought up was that you could be here today and you could be gone tomorrow. A child could be left without their father, and a child could be left without their mother. So my whole point of DADAcation is not to bash or put mothers down or anything like that, but it's to focus on the children.
Right, because mothers go through it too.
Mothers go through it
too. It's not as common, but that story needs to be told, because it's bigger than, oh, it's just men, it's just women. This is something greater at work.
It's greater at work, and it's about the children. The statistics are crazy. Like, we're reading all of these numbers, and they're continuing to follow through the role, right? I had a live the other day as well, which was because I want to start having these lives because I need people to pay attention to this. It's just being brushed to the side. And I have a lot of females coming on the live because I feel that will grab more females' attention, because, of course, the statistics is more men, which is fathers, that are going through it. You know what I mean? But when you have a female that's going through it as well, but the opposite side, it's just like, wow, like, this is real. So I had a live the other day, which was, what's the difference between a mother and a baby mama? People like the drama, so I put that title to attach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So people can gravitate towards it, but it's a real conversation.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Nobody wants to have that conversation. You know why? Because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
So we need to start getting the uncomfortable comfortable having these conversations.
You know what's crazy about what you just said about comfortable? I just heard a quote recently that was like, life becomes more beautiful when you realize that life is not centered around being comfortable, and it's centered around growth.
Ooh.
Right? Once you realize that you have to be uncomfortable, so having these conversations is uncomfortable, instead of, hearing that word baby mama. What's the difference between mother and baby mama? It's like someone who's a baby mother or baby mama, whatever, might look at that and feel like you attack them. And it's like they immediately go on defense mode. And it's just like, no, take a second. Think about it for a second. I'm not attacking you. I'm just, let's figure out the difference.
Let's talk about it.
I want to hear your thoughts. That's a dope question.
That's literally going to be my new slogan. Like, let's talk about it, because we need to start having conversations
around it all.
That's why I'm going to be going live. Besides the podcast that we have here today, I'm going to be going live every Sunday with special guests, but with those two females that were on the live, Elena and Gabby. One is a life coach, and one is a child's trauma.
I forget who it was, but it was maybe Elena who said, and this blew my mind, where it was like, how did she put it? She said something
about 50%.
No. Where was it? Something about the DNA?
Oh yeah, that was about 50.
Elena.
Yeah, it's Elena. Yeah, something about. It was Elena.
It was like. Sorry,
you need to get that
I want to say it. I want to say it on here. And sorry if I butchered Elena. Please, one of these days, make sure I get it right. But it's like the trauma that you go through, right? And that come from it can come from any trauma, right?
Yep.
But right now we're talking about like trauma that comes from parents and not having, or the lack of parents, or that battle that children go through, not being put first, right? That trauma can actually get trickle down so much so that it changes your DNA. That's crazy to me when I heard that.
I think everybody on the live was like, what?
It changes your DNA. And we were talking about it after, saying like, you know, that you know how they say like things from way, you know, people today are paying for their sins of, you know, their grandparents and from remember when it passed. It was like, think about it, like 500 years ago, you know, we're going through what we're going through right now, potentially because of something that happened 500 years ago that we had nothing to do with, all because maybe trauma that they might have gone through trickled down in their DNA.
Right.
And I just started and think about all the ways and different DNAs that got changed through the years.
Right. Which is why it's very important that therapy, everybody needs therapy.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say healing's important.
Healing is important.
I'm curious to know if the healing, does that change the DNA back?
Those are good questions.
I feel like it could.
I think so too. I feel like healing is probably like just like medicine to a body. You know what I'm saying? Once you start, even if it doesn't change it a lot, you know what I'm saying? You still might have some symptoms, but I feel like healing is like medicine. You know, meditation, all of those little things that can help your mind get back to focus. I just feel like it's a medicine that we all need, especially from the past, from the trauma, which is why I'm grateful for what Elena's doing, because that's basically what she's doing. She's her main focus are children, because she's trying to catch them at a young age, right when they're born. Even my daughter at 1 year old, she said that's a target for her too, to go attack those kids at such that young age. But yeah, this is DADAcation. DADAcation, guys. Welcome to DADAcation. Yeah. And I'm very grateful. Dada is the to give you what the name stands for, and I'll explain it again. Dada is usually a first word a child says. Cation is positive. So giving dedication to dads in a positive way. So dedication. But also, like I said, is not just meant for fathers, but the statistics makes us tackle down on fathers first. Not first, but importantly, shed the light there. But then it happens to both sides, mothers and fathers. So I want to create an environment for everybody that is going through parental alienation. And then just do dads though, but
yeah, this is it. So just so you guys know, I'm not gonna be the only guest every time. We're definitely gonna have other people on, other stories, because it's people.
It's crazy. So talking about that, like my DMs. So the way it started too is I started telling my story online, not in a bashing way. I started just saying like, oh, I miss my daughter. I haven't seen her in 2 weeks. I haven't seen her in 3 weeks. Then the month came, like different things. Or I missed my first holiday with my daughter. That was very, very important to me. And just I started getting people reach out. People were just like, hey, like I'm going through the same thing. Oh, I haven't seen my daughter. Or I haven't seen my son. I'm like, whoa, just needs to stop. This is a normal thing. No way. This can't be normal. Right. So that's when I came out, started reaching out. And then I wanted to create a safe space. So, and part of my slogan of DADAcation, I'm going to give voice to alienated fathers and mothers, because they feel like they can't talk to anybody. You know what I mean? So I want to bring them, gather them together and let them know that your voice can be heard. And with everybody's voice that is being heard, I feel like a change can come. Right. So I have multiple guests that wants to come on this stand and to this podcast and be a part of it. But the greatest thing that I love about this is that a lot of them are females.
That's what we need.
A lot of them are females.
That's what we need.
I'm blessed. I'm grateful.
I'm grateful for that. It's amazing. What resources? I have two questions. One, what resources do you think, like what's the goal in terms of the resources you'd be able to provide other fathers and mothers just around that? Because, part of your story came with you having to do a lot of legal studies on your own, right, to represent yourself. So like, what resources legally or just whatever would you be willing to provide?
So a part of the resource, part of the nonprofit. So I'm gonna be doing a few fundraisers, conferences where I gather a lot of parental alienated or custody battle parents together. But the resources that I will be given through the donations and the money that I raise will be access to an attorney. But first, I'm gonna do my due diligence to interview these attorneys, and have that attorney by your side. All right. And then also too, when I have these conferences, I'm also gonna create workshops where it's a safe space for these parents that are going through it to come together in one room, and we help you tackle down. You're gonna learn your family law. That's number one, because you're not only gonna have an attorney, but you're gonna make sure you know your law, just in case you go in as yourself as a pro C. Because my first thing I'm gonna make everybody do is try to go in by yourself, because I felt when I went in by myself, I had more say. I got to speak. I got to speak more. So it's gonna be workshops where I can help these parents go through the family law, learn the family law, and also access to attorneys if you need to speak, or you need help filing motions to be part of your daughter's life. Another resource access, I'm gonna try to reach out to those that are in jail due to like child support and stuff like that. But I want to reach out to media. A lot of resources to try to combine media, work with celebrities and famous people that have that the audience to bring the awareness, and put certain situations in front of these people so that they can help it as well. But also too, I think my last main goal is to reach a legislation. It might seem like a big goal. It might seem like I'm trying to overdo it, but I'm gonna do it. And I think that's why I was put in this position.
Dope. That's fire. Jeez, I lost my second question after hearing all of that. What was the second question? I forgot it. I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
But I will say this one thing that I would like to request, if there's the bandwidth in that, which is just always plugging in that message for fathers to do their best in taking care of themselves.
Oh, yep.
Because there's a lot of that where fathers don't really take care, because while you're doing everything for your kid, which is awesome, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be around long enough for your kids.
Thank you for mentioning. I did miss one thing in the resources. The resources, I'm going to have therapists at these workshops that will help these fathers, but also get a one-on-one with these fathers. So a therapist is going to be involved in the resources.
Okay.
So thank you for mentioning that.
Awesome. Excellent. That's dope, man. I'm excited. I'm so happy that you're on this journey, and it's gonna be an amazing journey, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, bro. And thank you for being a part and helping me out with everything that possibly can need help with, and being a part of the organization as well.
Thank you for helping me, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for everything you do. So, I think we can end it there. I think
that's it. Yeah.
Good intro.
That was a nice intro.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You want to close this out?
Once again, this is DADAcation. Our mission is to uplift dads, give dedication to fathers that are active in their child's life, and to give voice to alienated fathers. Stay tuned. We have a lot coming, and my mission is to reach out and give a lot of awareness to the situation so that we can help kill generational curses and child trauma.
DADAcation. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.